MJ, defeat on the road today. What was your assessment of the game?
Yeah, I don't think we started very well, if I'm being honest. I think we made it a game that they wanted it to be. It was very frantic and we just couldn't get a hold of it really. I thought their two strikers were brilliant in the first half. They got in behind us, they got down the sides of us, but we did get into it in the first half, and we did create a couple of chances, but nothing clear cut really. But I think second half, when we did get a goal back, I do think I felt like we had them at one point. But the third goal was just, it's killed us really. But yeah, overall, obviously it's disappointing. We've got to recover quickly now and get ready for Saturday, because that's going to be a massive game. It's disappointing obviously, but we can't dwell on it now. The results probably haven't gone our way tonight, and so yeah, we've just got to focus on ourselves really. As hard as it is, obviously, I'm sure the fans are frustrated, but we've just got to try to stick together now, and we've got massive games coming up.
And when we get ourselves back into the game at 2-1, to then concede so soon after, it must really kill that momentum that we had at that point.
Yeah, it did. I think we had a chance not straight after when we scored, and I think if we could have took that one, I think we'd have been right into the game. But obviously the third goal, probably everyone will look at Will, but if it wasn't for Will tonight, I think we could have been 3-4 down in the first half, and I thought Will was absolutely brilliant, and obviously that mistake's probably cost us, but I've known Will for a long time now. He loves his football club, and I hope his head doesn't drop down now, because we need him. He's an unbelievable goalkeeper. We all love him to bits, and we've got to get round him, but maybe in them, the pitch wasn't the best tonight, so we've just got to clear our lines without going back to Will, because it's hard enough for him to try and clear it in that 6-yard box. So yeah, it's frustrating obviously. I think if we could have kept it for 2-1 for longer, I think we could have had a couple of chances to go and score an equaliser.
And on a personal note as well, it's been since you've been out with injury, there's been a lot going on at the club, but you're now back for the run-in, and how did it feel to be back out there?
Yeah, obviously, disappointing for me to be out. It's been a frustrating season, if I'm being honest. But I'm back now, and I need to help the team as much as I can. Obviously being in the physio room, it's hard. There's only so much you can do, but there's been a lot of changes, and it has been frustrating, and but it's down to us as players now. It doesn't matter who the manager is now. I think it's just down to us as a group to take control of it. Obviously Foles, he's been unbelievable for us, and he's brought us back to basics really. But now we've just got to put on performances. We've got 9 or 10 massive games now, to put it right, and we've got to make sure that we're all ready.
Does tonight's performance fill you with confidence though, in the sense that we did get into the attacking third and we did have chances, it just didn't quite fall for us, or we didn't make that final pass, and it's something that we can build on going into Saturday?
Yeah, I think part of it, if I'm being honest, I don't think the whole game, we can say that we were the better team all round. I think there was part of it where, we did create a lot of chances. I think the one that I remember mostly is the one where Chaz, and obviously he's had a horrible bounce before he's took a shot, and I think if that one fell nicely to him, obviously we'd have been in a great position. But yeah, overall, there's some positives to take out of it, but a lot of negative as well. And we've got to make sure that come Saturday, we've got to put everything on the line now. We need everyone in the club. We need the fans. We need all the players back from injury now. I know Scotty's pushing, and Scotty's going to be massive for the group. And yeah, the quicker we can get more bodies on, like obviously Witts as well, who's an important player for us. It's been a frustrating season, but now we just need to come together and be a one. And
how important is this next couple of days going to be to assess the game, analyse and recover and fight on all fronts come Saturday?
Yeah, of course, you've got to assess the game, but I think now we've just got to put this game behind us. They're a brilliant team, fair play to them. They've recruited well, and I'm sure they'll go and push for automatics, and it's a tough place to come for anyone really in this league. But yeah, we've just got to quickly move on from this now. We've got Grimsby on Saturday, which is a massive game for us. And yeah, we've proven last season. Obviously, it's a different group that we can go to these types of grounds and win, and that's what we've got to believe. There's no point in us looking at the table and thinking what's the other teams doing. It's all down to us now. If we win all our games, we stay up. So we've got to get away from obviously looking at what other teams are doing and just focus on ourselves.
Cheers, Andrew.
Thank you.